Hello, my name's Cam Sylvester. This is my very first tutorial. I'm going to try and cover how to do a sticky footer using CSS and HTML. So let's get at her. As the title here suggests, this one has no sticky footer. So I just want to kind of show you guys what a basic layout is and why maybe you might want to put a sticky footer in your web page. I have a container, I have a header, I have some content, and I have a div that is footer. Okay, all three are kind of standing right beside each other, all within a container. So let's take a look at what that looks like in a browser. Okay, reload. Yeah, nothing changes. So you got your header, you got your main content area, and I have a footer right here. Now you'll notice that it's not near the bottom where I'm kind of eventually going to try and get the footer to be. You'll notice that there's just a lot of white space. What a sticky footer aims to try and do is make your web page a little bit more visually appealing by expanding to the entire height of the window that you're browsing from. Let's just style this up a little bit more so that we can see each area. Okay, so let's go up to the head. Let's style it. Okay, let's style the no. Let's do the header. Okay, header and the content and the footer. So let's put a border. Oops. Border 1 pixel dashed red. Okay. Let's give it some padding. 10 pixels should do. Yeah. So we should see a dash red line around everything that we've put on the web page. Let's save that, refresh. Ta-da. Okay, so it's still kind of boring. Let's put it in the middle of the web page. So we gotta target the container. Okay. Let's give it a width, something that we can see in this screencast. 600 pixels. Let's give it a margin. 0 top and bottom, auto left and right, so that will center it. Let's, if you give it a width, you should probably give it a height. Okay, give it auto, and yeah, that should do it. Let's take a peek. Refresh. Okay, now it looks a little bit nicer, a little bit tidier. Still no sticky footer though. Okay, but that's the point. So we can see that each div is wrapped around this white red dashed lines. Okay, what we're going to try and do is put this footer attached to the bottom of your browser, and if I do this, it would move to the bottom until it hits the main content, and it will stop. Okay. Alright, so let's move on. Okay. I'm just going to copy all that, put it in a new one. Okay, this is going to be our sticky footer. Okay, so let's start with the CSS. Okay. Okay. Style. Okay. All right. So this is really important. Okay, we're going to target the HTML and the body. Okay. Uh-oh. All of a sudden it changed to my French keyboard settings. Okay, I'll turn back to American. There we go, back to normal. Okay, so HTML and body. This is what I usually do with most of my web pages. I zero out the margin and padding. Some browsers like to do some weird things with margin and padding and automatically inject that into your HTML, which is not what we want. So we want to control everything, so we zero everything out, and then later on in our CSS, if we want to give it a margin, we give it margin. Okay, so this is the other very important thing. If you don't do this, things mess up. Helps if I spell things right. 100%. Voila. Okay, if you don't do this, everything fails. Okay, I'll kind of explain it a little bit later. So now we want to target our container. All right. Give it a height. Auto. Now you'll notice that we repeat a few things. We want to make this important. Minimum height of 100%. Okay. Give it a height of 100%. Okay, and then we give it a position relative. Okay, now that's important because everything that's inside the container will now be relative to where the container is. Okay, so the footer will be inside the container, and eventually we'll want the footer to be at the very bottom all the time of container. Okay, and you'll notice that our container is 100% of the windows. Okay, so if I were to do this, the container, which is all of that, should be at 100% of the browser. Okay, and eventually I'll have the footer telling saying stick to the bottom. Okay, so I'll say bottom all the time. Okay, let's go back to, let's do that. Let's do the footer. Okay, footer height. This is very important. Always remember the height of this because the content area has to have a padding of exactly the height of the footer. You'll see when I demonstrate it a little bit later. Okay, position absolute. So we want to absolutely position things now, and because we want to absolutely position it at the bottom, we'll say bottom. It's a nice little attribute that we can target. So bottom, right there at the very, very bottom. Okay, now if I were to say bottom 10 pixels, it will go to the bottom of the container the footer is in, and then move up 10 pixels. Okay, you can do the negative too, but I'm a positive guy. Let's just let's stick to the positive numbers. Okay, so right now we have it going straight to the bottom of the container that the footer is in. Alright, so and the container is a 100% of the window that it's in. Okay, so also let's be careful. Let's tell it to stick to the left of the container. 0. And that position will be 0. So we absolutely positioned it relative to the container. Okay, because the footer is inside the container. Okay, still following. Now we want to give a width of 100% of what the footer is in, which is the container. Okay, so yeah, let's give the container a width 600 pixels. Let's center it in our page like we did with our example. So we give it a margin 0 top and bottom, auto left and right. Okay, so the container will have no padding. Okay, let's say this container, it shouldn't have any padding up top, it shouldn't have any padding on the bottom, it should be 100% of the window. It will then also auto margin the left and the right, or left and right, centering it all the time. Okay. Alright, footer width. Alright, let's move on. Okay. The content. Padding, bottom. We're going to say 50 pixels. Alright. Okay, so that's where we have to remember how high the footer is, because we have to pad the bottom of our content 50 pixels. Okay, and you'll see that. Okay, we'll save. Let's take a look at it in our browser. There it is. There's something odd about this right now. I'm not too sure why. Let's take a look at. Okay, I'm just gonna steal my. Let's do this. Copy, paste, so I can see everything. Finish that. Alright, take it. Save it. Reload. Okay, so we do see it. Okay. Alright, so now if I move this and I move it into the content area, notice that it stops at 50 pixels. Okay, and then it won't overlap this because we have a padding at the bottom, and this it has a height of 50, so yeah, voila. There's your sticky footer. Yeah, so hopefully you followed everything there. I'll have a link underneath kind of showing you where I got my stuff from. I went to codecamel.com, which showed me how to do all this. But if you go to my website, camdesigns.ca, I'll have a link, and I'll have all the code for you to download too. Okay, see you guys next time.